Thank you so much for Code Pink, Veterans for Peace, all the great groups, University of Nevada Law School, for having me. It's an honor to be here and speak with you. I, again, am Jesselyn Radack. I am the Director of National Security and Human Rights at Expose Facts, and I run a whistleblower and source protection project there. And basically, all of the darkest secrets of my generation, whether it's torture, mass secret surveillance, war crimes, Abu Ghraib, you know about these because of whistleblowers. I was a whistleblower myself when I found out that the American Taliban, John Walker Lind, our first prisoner in the war in Afghanistan, was being tortured. And that evidence was withheld from the court and destroyed. And I recovered that evidence because I'd written it and ended up resigning. But for me, that unleashed the full force of the entire executive branch. And I was placed under criminal investigation for leaking. I was referred to the state bars, in which I'm licensed as an attorney, and I was put on the no-fly list. And so because of that overreaction by the government, I knew the price that whistleblowers would pay and decided to spend the rest of my life representing whistleblowers. Thanks. That's the first time I've ever got applause for that line. Thank you. Wow. You guys are a great crowd. Unfortunately, the stakes for whistleblowers, inconceivably, but truly are even worse under President Obama than they were under George Bush when I blew the whistle. Because now, not only do you face losing your job and being put under a federal criminal leak investigation, you risk prosecution under the Espionage Act. And I'm representing Edward Snowden, Thomas Drake of the NSA. I have a whole bunch of NSA clients. I have a number of CIA clients. And they have revealed some of literally the darkest secrets of our country. And for that, they have been prosecuted for espionage, which is one of the most serious charges you can level against an American. And it deprives a defendant of having a fair trial because it takes place largely in secret, and there is no public interest defense you can mount. So while Hillary Clinton can, play fast and loose with classified information out of convenience, and General David Petraeus can share classified information with his mistress in order to fluff up his biography, people who are actually, maybe or maybe not, some of them have, some haven't, revealed classified information in the public interest, they are the ones who are being prosecuted and facing the rest of their lives in jail. They are not having cushy retirements, they're not getting sweetheart plea deals, and they certainly aren't the presumptive Democratic nominee. So anyway, the risks for speaking out, and especially right now, I feel like where we were in 2013 with surveillance whistleblowers, we are at that point now with drone whistleblowers, where a critical number are coming forward. We have a number of things happening in popular culture, including movies like Eye in the Sky, which is coming out, which is a fiction feature film, and including documentaries like Drone by Tonya Seshi and Sonia Kennebeck's National Bird, which is premiering at Tribeca. And so I feel like now that people are speaking out, hopefully this will roll the same kind of snowball we were rolling up the hill with surveillance from 2010 to 2013 that ended up creating the avalanche that we call Edward Snowden. But the risks are very real. Even if my clients, two of whom are here, Sean Westmoreland and Christopher Aaron, even though, yes, Huge props. Even though they're going to avoid talking about sources and methods and anything classified, that doesn't prevent the government from going after them. So it's a great personal risk that they're sharing with you. For example, other drone whistleblowers who have spoken out publicly criticizing the drone program have been told by the Air Force, have told both them and their parents that they are on an ISIS hit list. Now, I'm not sure when the Air Force got in the business of delivering death threats on behalf of ISIS, but clearly this is whistleblower retaliation, as evidenced by the fact that the way to protect themselves is to minimize their social profiles and to stop talking about drones. But again, that is a government reaction. Again, after a bunch of them went forward in New York, bank accounts got frozen. Normally, that is a punishment the US reserves for known terrorists, not for people who are speaking truth to power. So it is a big deal that they're actually willing to come forward. Couple that with the fact that of the dozen or so drone whistleblowers that I represent, most people don't know about the profound moral injuries that they are living with. Not all of them, but most of them have PTSD. A number of them have depression and have attempted suicide. Most all of them, not all of them, most of them have struggled with addiction issues. A number of them have been chronically unemployed, and a couple of them have been homeless. And 3 of them are living in hiding or in exile in other countries right now because of the hammer of the United States government. So that also makes coming forward and speaking out harder. I think everyone's in a different place on their own journey about coming forward, but there's kind of a common misperception that people on drone bases like what they're doing and signed up for it. A lot of these kids joined the military because they were homeless, they were living in poverty, they wanted an education. People have myriad different reasons. They didn't sign up for a drone program, but they tested well on certain video games and other kinds of testing in the military and got shuttled into a secret program and were working on drones. And in the trailers, for the people who were working in the trailers, often there was drone porn, which is just images of people being blown up and the glorification of drone strikes, playing 24/7. Most of the people would self-medicate before work to anesthetize themselves to doing this job. The government tried to normalize killing by using derogatory names for fun-sized terrorists for kids and that sort of thing. But a lot of people, a lot more than you would think, who work on the bases have huge moral qualms and crises of conscience over what they're doing. And some people reach that conclusion sooner rather than later, but the people who are like, I go to work and then I go home and have dinner with my family in Reston, Virginia, and I love being a drone operator, those people are the true psychopaths. But those are not most of the people who are actually in the program. Most of the people in the program, I think, definitely have struggles of conscience about this. Anyway, we're here in a spirit of realizing that we all have the same goals of having more transparency, more accountability, and ultimately ending the targeted assassination program. As a lawyer, I'm not going to get into the utter lack of what our constitutional president scholar should know is a denial of due process of having one person play prosecutor, judge, jury, and executioner of anyone on the planet. And the short-sightedness of not realizing what that would look like in the hands of President Trump or whoever his successor might be, even if you happen to trust and like Obama. I will leave that to Marjorie, who will get more into the legalistic parts of it, and I'll leave to Shelby to get more into the victim perspective, which my clients also care a great deal about. Anyway, so I will yield the rest of my time, and thank you again for coming.